Hello, YouTube friends. It's Dale from whatever the weather may be. I hope you're all well. I'm up in my studio today and I'm trying to get some projects done. I'm doing laundry and washing floors, and this morning I was working over at my plant table down at the end of the thing, at the end of the room here, and I took cuttings from my geranium plants from last year, so I have 24 new geranium plants started, which is nice. And I've been doing some knitting and some tidying up here and all kinds of things. So I just thought I would do a little video and say hello and show you what I've been up to the last couple of weeks. Sorry, my voice is a little bit on the raspy side. I'm not sick or I don't have a cold. It's just dryness, I think. It's very dry in this house. So yeah, here I am in the studio. And first of all, I'll show you my new little plants that I got this morning. So it's still way too early here in our climate to start seeds, and it's on my mind. I've sent my seed order in to our local seed company, and I'm all ready to go. I've got soil. I've got my little greenhouse here that's set up already, but I don't think I'm going to start my seeds as early as I have in other years, because I always start them mid-February and they're always way too leggy by the time I can actually put them out. So I think I'm going to be smart for once and I'm going to wait until maybe the beginning of March. But today I had brought in these geraniums from last year, or pelargoniums, I guess some people would call them. And they've been living up here in the studio happily. As you can see, some are even, well, quite a few have been blooming. I've been cutting the blossoms off, but I've been just kind of keeping them going because I wanted to take slips off of them for this year's plants. And these actually, all of these I grew from seed last year. The first time I had ever done that. So I took this morning and I started clipping away, and I got quite a few. Hold on one second while I open up this. So I've got, oh, this is going to give me trouble. As you can see, I have a lot of very healthy little starter plants. I think I counted 24 in all, but I'm very happy about that. And they're 4 different colors: coral, white, pink, and orangey, sort of a orangey color. And there's some down here too. So I'm very happy with that. This will more than fill my pots outside this summer. I usually put some on, I have 2 big pots at my front door. I put them in there, and then I have pots hanging off of banisters and balusters, and I have pots everywhere. So this will be a very nice start. And what a cheap way of getting plants. Really, just keep your plants. And when they start to do things like this one is doing here, wait till that gets a little bit bigger and pop it off and put it in a pot, and you've got a new plant. There's still some more that I could take here. Like there's one here. If I can, right there. I could take that one, but it's kind of small. So I might just let it grow a little bit and then take it off there. And there's quite a few in this plant that I could do too. But the smell is very strong here right now. I guess because I've done all this. Geraniums have a very strong scent, so right where I'm standing, it's just stuffing me up. So that's what I've done this morning, and I'm very happy about that. I used up all the starter soil that I had bought, so I have to get some more. And I think this will be really, really good for the yard. I've also, like I said before, I've sent in my seed order, and I'm adding a whole bunch of new things this year. I am taking half of the big in-ground garden and I'm turning that into flower beds. And the other half I'm putting in raised beds. And I had said I was going to do this last year, but I never got around to it. But for sure this year it's happening. So I'll have a lot more perennial beds in the backyard than I've ever had before. And that's fine. It's what I want. I want bees, and butterflies, and all the kind of things that are good to have near and around your vegetable garden, and even anywhere in your garden for that matter. So that's what I've been doing garden-wise. And I've also been doing a lot of knitting. So here's one thing that I've been working on. This is the mitered square blanket that is all the rage on Ravelry and all the knitting sites. It's I'm using up my scrap stashes. I've got bags and bags of these little balls of yarn, and these are perfect for this blanket. I'm just trying to get rid of all these little bags of pieces of yarn. I don't throw anything out. The smallest little ball of yarn I keep. So this represents a lot of different projects over the years. What's left over of them. So I'm doing quite well. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do it 14 squares wide and 14 squares high. So that'll be quite a good size. From here to here is 7 squares. So there'll be 4 more this way. And I think I've only gone 1, 2, 3. I've only gone 7 this way, so there has to go another 7 that way. So yeah, that's the mitered square blanket. It's really very easy to do, and what I like the most about it is that you don't have to sew them together. You just keep picking up stitches and adding on. So basically, when your blanket is done, it's done. You don't have to go and clean up the back. You don't have to, you just sew in your stitches or your ends as you go. And if you want to put a little border along the side or whatever, you can do that. I don't think I'm going to bother. I think I'm just going to leave this. This is going to be for the couch in the family room. So it can just look as crazy as I want it to. And I really like this diagonal line that forms from your miter. And it goes throughout the whole blanket. This one's kind of hard to see because it's got some dark ones, but it's quite nice. And it's actually very easy to do. So that's one project I've been working on. And I'm not too fussed if I don't get it finished before summer hits. I won't be working on it in the summer because it's already getting very warm to sit on your knee. It's getting quite heavy, and so I think I might maybe just continue on this one perhaps till the end of February, middle of March, and then I'm just going to put it away and start it again in fall when it's cooler. And then another project I've been working on is this shawl. This is the Ardent Shawl. It's on Ravelry. It's a purchase pattern. And this is the second one I've made. The first one I made just as a sort of a test, and I used a linen jute fabric or yarn. And it turned out okay, but the yarn was very bouncy, and so even after blocking it, it has squished back to sort of where it wanted to be before. This yarn is 100% superwash merino, and it's much finer, and I think it's going to hold its shape much better. This has some lace detail in it. I've just started this, so you really can't see, but you can see some of it showing up there. And this one I'm making for my daughter-in-law, Sasha, and she chose this color. It is eggplant, Malabrigo, and it's sock yarn. And one ball, which is not that big of a ball, will do the whole shawl. So that's pretty good. I'm quite happy about this. This is 440 yards, made in Peru. It's lovely feeling yarn. It's very nice and soft, and it's nice and stretchy. So I think when this one is blocked, I think it'll act a lot different than the other one that I did. So this is just something I've just started, and I'm going to be, perhaps when I quit doing that one, I'll be doing more on this one. So that's the second project I have going. And then I decided for Christmas to treat myself to a kit project. So Annie's had this stitch sampler Afghan, and what it is that's the Afghan that you're going to finish up with once you finish it. But it's a subscription kit, kind of a block of the month type of thing. So every month you get 2 balls of yarn and the pattern for 3 blocks. So this is the pattern, block 1, 2, and 3 for this month. And I've just finished the block 1, which was just a plain knit, very simple. Now I'm doing block 2, which is knit and purl, stocking stitch, which also very easy. And I have a feeling that as you go along, the blocks will get more difficult, I'm hoping, because these ones have been kind of boring for me. But you know, there's some nice blocks in there, some cabling. So I don't think it'll be always a little bit of lace work. So I think it'll be quite nice when it's done. And I chose these colors. So this here is the color I'm working on right now. There's block 2, 1, and 3. So I'm excited to see what the next month. And they give you a needle, bamboo needle, and a cable needle, and stitch markers, and the yarn that they sent is this Premier Anti-Pilling worsted. It's an acrylic. It's quite soft though. It's quite nice. So these are my first 2 balls, and that was my first square. So it'll be quite interesting to see how this pans out. I've never done anything like this before. Well, I've made this kind of an Afghan before, but I've never done a kit. So it's every month it'll sort of be a surprise what they send. I think it'll be kind of fun. So, and I did quite a few other little things as well. One of my piano students had a birthday, so I made him a bookmark, and it was the head and arms, feet of a bear, and the bear's, here would be his head, and then there was a long piece which was his pajamas, and he had suspenders around his neck, and so it was really adorable. So I don't have it. I should have taken pictures of it. Well, I did take pictures of it, but I don't know how to put pictures on a video. So if you want to see that, I have pictures on my blog, and the link to my blog is down in the description below. So you can go on there and see that. And there's also a picture of the other Ardent shawl that I've finished. It'll be on there as well. So it's been busy, trying to just keep focused on doing things, you know, every day that passes, closer to gardening season, which is sort of where my head's at. I've brought my digital piano upstairs here because I'm about to embark on another venture. I teach piano, but I also play the organ in church, and I've been teaching a little bit of organ, and I also play the piano over at the nursing home. But I'm going to be, hopefully, if we can get this going, I want to start a little group with the residents there, doing kind of not a name that tune, but going through music through the eras, starting with the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, all the way up to present day, if we get that far, and picking out songs that perhaps the residents know, and just talking about the song, who wrote it, who sang it, was it in a movie, what movie, who were the people in the movie, what was the movie about, that kind of thing. And so much of music is tied to events in our lifetime or at the time of the song. So I think it'll be really good for the nursing home residents. It'll jog their memory a little bit and get them thinking about, different times or times from the past. And I know they do love that because I've done a few of these kind of things before with them, but not on this scale. So I brought my keyboard up here so that I could go through all these books, which have a lot of old songs, like Come Away With Me, Lucille, and My Merry Automobile, and just all these old. And these are Reader's Digest books, and they're sort of in sections of songs from different eras. So half of the work is already done for me. I'll still have to do some research, but I think it's going to be a very fun and ultimately a rewarding activity for me and for the nursing home residents. So that's sort of why this is up here now, because I can come up here and I can just, turn the volume up, play, and make a whole lot of noise, and I'm not interfering with anybody else. Well, there's only my husband, but the funny thing is he is an organist and he has a pipe organ in the basement. So he goes down after supper usually and plays the pipe organ, and I come up here on the second story and I play this, and we don't bother each other, and yet we both are playing loud. So it's kind of fun. So this isn't the instrument that I teach on. I have an old 1929 Irish piano upright in my dining room. That's the instrument that I teach on. And then I also have another organ that I just purchased recently. It's a very small little organ, sort of a beginner organ, and I teach my piano students on that too, the ones that want to also learn some organs. So that is also in my dining room at the moment, but it's going to be going downstairs pretty soon. So yeah, busy days. You have to keep busy when you're retired. I don't seem to have a problem keeping busy and being retired. There's always something to do, and as I often say, it seems sometimes like there isn't enough hours in a day, let alone, projects that I'm looking forward to do. So these are wintertime projects, and I love everything that I'm doing, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to being outside and getting my yard planted and changed. I'm going to do a lot of changes this year in the yard, and we're also hoping to paint the outside of our house. So I think it's going to be busy. It's not too bad outside right now. I think it's minus 7 or something like that Celsius, and it's been cloudy. The sun is trying to come out, but the temperature is quite mild. So I didn't intend this video to be quite this long, so I better put an end to it and say goodbye. Cheerio, so long. And I'll get back to you once I get my rail seating table set up down there and get my little trays all filled up, and maybe I'll do a let's seed together kind of a video coming up. But for now, that's all, and just take care of everyone, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.